Okay, let's talk about a machine, but maybe not the kind you're picturing. This one isn't made of steel or circuits. Nope, it's completely biological. And get this, it takes one of our biggest, messiest problems and turns it into a powerful, clean solution.
So I want you to just think about this for a second. What if the very thing we're most desperate to get rid of could actually be used to power our homes? It sounds a little wild, right? But that exact question is at the very heart of the technology we're going to dive into today.
All right, so before we jump into the amazing solution, we really have to wrap our heads around the problem itself. Just how big of a challenge are we talking about here? Well, it's something we face every single day. Just look at this number, 50,000 milligrams per liter. That is a ton of pollution packed into raw sludge. Now, to get a little technical for a moment, scientists call this chemical oxygen demand, or COD for short. And really, all that is a way to measure just how dangerous this stuff is to the environment if we don't treat it right.
Okay, but here's the cool part. Hidden inside this massive problem is a solution that's, well, it's surprisingly elegant. We're not talking about some harsh chemical process or a clunky, complicated machine. Nope, we're talking about bringing in nature's very own cleanup crew.
The process is called anaerobic digestion, and the key thing to remember here is that it's all biological. It just stabilizes the organic matter, breaks down the solids and all those pollutants. But the real secret ingredient, the thing that makes it all work, a total lack of oxygen.
Yep, you heard that right. This isn't about using brute force. It's actually a really sophisticated technology. We're basically harnessing these tiny microscopic armies to do all the heavy lifting for us. It's like biology as engineering. Pretty cool.
So the big question is, how does this biological machine actually work? Let's peel back the layers and take a look inside one of these digesters.
Now, one thing you need to know is this isn't some kind of instant fix. It's more like a biological journey. You can see on this timeline here, once the sludge goes in, it has to hang out for about 20 to 30 days. Yep, that's how long it takes for those little microbes to do their job and break everything down. So patience is key, but the transformation is incredibly powerful.
Okay, you can really break the whole thing down into 4 main steps. First up is containment. You've got to seal the sludge in an oxygen-free zone. Then comes the main event, digestion. This is where different families of microbes just get to work, kind of like a biological assembly line. Third, and this is crucial, is gas capture. As those microbes are eating, they're producing methane gas, and we collect all of it. And finally, you have solids removal, where we take out the leftover stuff, which is now stabilized and a whole lot safer.
And the before and after picture? It's pretty amazing. I mean, you start with this stuff that's full of pollutants, smells awful, and there's a lot of it. And on the other side, the pollutants are way down, the odor's practically gone, and even the total volume is smaller. It's a complete 180-degree transformation.
But wait, because just reducing the waste, that's only half the story. The really mind-blowing part, the revolutionary part, is what we actually create during this whole process.
And this is a huge mindset shift. The goal here isn't just to dispose of something, it's resource recovery. Think about that. We're not just getting rid of a problem, we are literally creating valuable new resources from it.
So what's the star of the show? It's something called biogas. Remember that methane our little microscopic workforce was producing? Well, when you capture it and purify it, you get a clean, totally renewable source of energy.
And this isn't just some abstract idea. We're talking about real-world applications. Biogas can be used for cooking fuel, for lighting, or you can even use it to generate electricity. Imagine a community literally powering itself with its own waste. And it gets even better. You can actually supercharge the whole process by mixing in other organic stuff. Think cow dung, or even leftover food waste from the city. You can seriously boost the efficiency and get even more energy out of it. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? But like any powerful technology, it's not exactly plug and play. There are some real-world challenges we need to talk about. So let's open up the user manual for this thing. So you've got your pros and your cons, right? On the pro side, these systems don't take up a lot of land, they don't use much energy, and hey, they produce clean fuel. But here's the catch. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of deal. You need skilled people, real experts, and constant monitoring to keep that little biological engine running just right.
And that careful monitoring is absolutely critical because, it's kind of a garbage in, garbage out situation. The system's performance totally depends on the quality of what you put into it. Like, for example,
If sludge gets pulled from septic tanks too often, it hasn't had a chance to start breaking down on its own. That means the stuff going in is harder to treat, which can throw the whole system's efficiency off.
All right, so let's recap. We've seen the incredible power of this hidden biological machine, right? It takes something dangerous and turns it into clean energy. But we've also seen the other side of the coin, the challenges, the need for real skill and constant attention. And that brings us to the big, final question. Can we actually master this user manual? Can we get good enough at this to unlock a truly sustainable future for sanitation? That's the real question.